Hello and welcome to Live the Party. We are NyxRising Industries. I am JD, your dungeon master.
What even is this?
What even is this? Are we ready to go?
Yes!
Show title sequence. We catch up with our adventurers outside the city of Shadebourne, a mountain fortress built out of black granite in 7 tiers. Our adventurers have passed from Lakeside, chasing a member of the Weeping Eye through a loop in the Feywild, and catching up with him quickly, taking him down before continuing on with their week-long ride to the city of Shadebourne, coming through a lot of things on their time past. We find them now outside the city, early in the morning. The city's about maybe like a kilometre or two away from you. Huh?
Okay.
What would you like to do as you're approaching?
Disguise self.
Yeah.
And she would have put the headscarf back on anyway, but then she will disguise self and just looks like brown skinned woman with black hair, like facial features nothing like herself, but very like nondescript.
Okay.
And sort of more simple clothing and stuff.
Yeah.
Say to Vanden, how do you want to go about this? Do
That's a
we
good
just
question.
knock and walk in, or I don't know how it works here.
I'm guessing I don't know anything about entering the city at all.
No.
I'm not sure.
Surely you go in like any other city, but you can't go past a certain point without documentation or...
Yeah, surely
Proof
it was
of
allowed in
status.
lower tiers or whatever, right?
I would expect so.
I guess we just got to go find out.
Yeah.
Do you want to disguise yourself first though, Vanden?
I'm not going to be disguising myself.
Oh, you're not?
No, they won't know my face up here.
Are you going to wear the mask?
No. I couldn't pull off being a lord if I was going to do that. I'm just going to tie my hair up very neatly, and I've put back on my blue doublet and like my nicest shirt from my bag. Obviously I'm riding on the white horse ahead of everyone else.
Okay. You press forward. You join the path shortly, and you do see strings of carts and caravans and people moving into the city, people coming out as well, all sort of manner. You see some sort of like looking like almost like troops or maybe a militaristic unit of some sort, some like traders and caravans coming in and out. And you approach the city, and before long, all you can see before you, it rises up and up and up into the mountain. By the time you're close to the gates, you can't see the top of it anymore. Right? These 2 huge statues of heavily armoured dwarven warriors carved out of the same granite of the gatehouse flank the gates themselves, which are open. And you do see people moving through. You see the glint of spears and helmets and armour of guards at the gate, but they don't seem to be stopping anyone here at this gate.
It's all a bit grey, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose let's just keep quiet and keep moving in.
Yeah.
Just a normal group of travellers going about their business.
You head up to the gate and join the sort of funnel moving in. You do slow as people are sort of narrowed into the gates, but you make your way through. You see 6 guards on the little sort of ground, like where like bringing you in through the doors. As you got closer to the walls, you see 20, 30 individual guards up on the battlements, just keeping watches out. You see spiked helmets, you see chainmail, black shields with silver trim and sort of low capes as well. You take note of lots of people moving in and step under the shadow of the gate. The clamour of the city hits you. You hear people moving, people yelling, you hear the sound of smithies, you hear the rattle of carts and horseshoes over dark cobbled streets. You step through the gate and look out to some of you might have seen before, some of you only have sort of mental image of what can only be described as slums. You see houses just sort of stacked on top of each other, some sort of leaning to, a couple with broken through or boarded up windows and doors. You see plenty of people sat outside doorways, sort of wrapped up in rags with their heads down. And you see people moving through in groups, sticking to themselves, not much space between them. And you see small patrols of the guard moving through in 6s and 8s, just sort of making steady paths through. You've just stepped in beyond the gate. You do see the main road leads up and winds round slightly out of sight, but you can see the second tier off in the fairly middle distance and see the imposing walls rising up before you.
I will slow my horse to fall back in line with the cart so I can talk to them. I think we should keep going and see how far we can
straight
get.
to the second tier if we can.
See how many gates we can get through.
Sure. Did he say which tier we knew that the Weeping Eye operated within? Was it this one or was it?
We didn't know
Right.
when we were discussing. We pondered maybe the lower ones because they'd kind of looked down upon.
Yeah, but not necessarily this one. But there's 7, so it could be
Yeah.
2 or 3.
You push through and you notice, all of you, you draw a lot of eyes. You see people who are walking through stop and look up at you with a manner of expressions. Some people sat down in the street as the cart trundles by, hold up hands or little pans and just sort of not really making much eye contact, just sort of holding them out despondently. You see,
put some money in.
yeah,
I do too.
you toss a fair few in. You see people backed up against alleyways with arms crossed and hoods up, just track you with your eyes as you move through. None seem to follow you for any length of time. You see the guard take note as you're heading through and just sort of look you all up and down. Don't stop you for anything, but just sort of taking a mental note of this band of adventurers, sort of armed to the teeth and looking as you do. And push through. The city angles up slightly. Once you push past some of the areas closer to the walls, it's more like slums. You push through some of the slightly more upright buildings and get to a point where you see the zigzag up, basically through the tier wall and with a gate at the top of it.
Sariel sat looking particularly grim, clenched jaw and just fury shaking off her.
Yeah.
Cassian puts a hand on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
How can they set up a society like this? Looks miserable here.
Yep, that's the way it is in some places.
You push through and you make your way up the ramp. It's sort of a very steep hill, but you essentially go back and forth on this zigzag, so that it's built for carts and horses, so that you can actually essentially get up and climb. Take about 15 minutes. Once you do, you stop up at the top and you're able to look out and see the array before you, and you see blackened and mold-ridden and occasionally burnt out houses and buildings in some places. You hear distant clamour and you're able to look out, and 20-30 metres from you, you see a large fight breaking out between about 6-7 people, and the guard rushing towards it, pulling people off each other. We turn back and head through the gate. Guards on this post as well. More of them at this point, but the gates are still open. The second tier looking marginally better than the first. You don't see the same slum array, and the roads and buildings do have more organisation, but by no means pleasant. You smell where some rotten food has just been spilled out onto the street. You see more than 1 or 2 people sort of face down with a bottle sort of by their hands. A fair few beggars, but not as many. A lot of people you see around are bearing weaponry, shields, fairly simple armour, leathers, swords, crossbows, and you see some who are sort of walking around individually and occasionally bearing similar heraldry in 2s or 3s or 4s. The most you see in one group is a group of 10, who seem to be soldiers, all just sort of marked out the same.
Do we see any... I know the Weeping Eye weren't wearing uniforms as such, but gnolls or anyone similarly dressed to...
Similarly dressed, plenty of people, but not that you could tie them to the Weeping Eyes, because they were just in sort of generic travelling clothes.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But
You don't see any gnolls. You push past the second tier, or into the second tier. A familiar sight for most of you. You see a temple of cord, built of the same sort of blue-grey marbled stone. You do pass it. It's not immediately next to you, but you are able to see one.
That's what we're
You see signs and people moving in the direction of what you can see in the distance faintly is a gate carved into the mountainside itself. It would sort of curve around you like a glimmer of one. This enormous open door, this cavern leading into a tunnel into the mountainside as well. And those of you that have studied the map know that there's a similar one on the other side of the city.
Gets to the underdark. The window from the map.
Yeah. Right. Are you looking for anything in particular?
I say we push ahead.
And see how far up we can get.
If we want to have any sort of allyship with anyone in the city who can have impact, we should try and get as high up as we can.
Of course. And I guess it might be useful if we're staying in a different district to you know where.
I don't think it would suit much for somebody pretending to be a lord to be on this level anyway.
No, not at all. That's not going to work. It's just right onto the next gate and just heads up. Don't look around too much.
It is a long trek through the city, and like getting through the first tier itself was like 45 minutes of like winding through. So another similar length of time before you get to the second zigzag and begin making this long trek up, and the horses are looking tired. But you're able to stop and feed them some grain from their nose bags and push on. And you get to the third tier, and again, a heavy presence of guards. You do see people being turned away, but it appears to be people in sort of rags and shrouds who are sort of like insisting to get through. You see people in militant organised armour who come through and sort of wave through regardless. As the cart comes up, the guard sort of stops and just looks you over and then silently beckons you through.
Okay. Is Sariel wearing her new outfit now?
Damn right she is.
Yeah, she is. It's what she deserves.
This isn't something we got to sort of put out there, but she would have burned her old stuff.
Secretly or?
Like, not particularly.
On the campfire at night?
Not on the campfire.
Sariel walks up in some new threads and is just like, screw this jumper.
Yeah, not necessarily on top of their dinner or anything like that. She would have like ceremoniously burned it.
Yeah. Good for her.
Yeah.
You push into the third tier. The buildings and roads have more organisation, closer to like a grid system almost, and less like they're clumped up together and just sprung up randomly. The whole area is still gloomy. There's a lack of like direct sunlight, but more buildings are made out of stone or brick than cobbled together of wood. You pass a few taverns. You pass the Labourer's Bar, the Devil and Duchess, the Hawk's Bottle. Are you going anywhere in particular? Are you looking for
did we pinpoint any like particular inns or anything on the map, or would that not?
No, there weren't any names of any.
Right.
You pass what looked to be, I would say you probably recognise them as barracks buildings. You pass probably 3 or 4 on your way just sort of through into the third tier of sort of whitewashed and terracotta clay tiled barracks buildings. You can see like a low wall around them and like a couple of buildings inside. All look to be the exact same, but have doors locked and closed and barred, and you can see they have notices on the front.
I'm going to slow down. Pull the horse up next to you guys again. I believe we're looking for something like that. A barracks. I don't know how to identify each one, but if we can get closer and take a look, we may get some sort of indication about how we can tell them apart.
And Boblem can always send his little friend out.
Yeah.
Or Sariel's L.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also, if you don't want to get too close to people, I can read lips. Kind of get a sense of what people are saying. That's clever.
Is
That's
there
very clever.
Yeah. Is there anyone standing outside this place, or is it?
Yeah, there's someone who's currently nailing. Sort of as you pass a couple, you come up to a third one. You see like what seems to be a young dwarven man, and it's sort of very very simple, in black clothes, almost like uniform like, nailing another of these notices to one of these doors.
I mean, we have many options.
If someone could get closer.
I don't mind going, or do you want to go?
I can go have a look.
Could send Zip, see if I can.
Sends it first.
That would be a
Even
good
if we
idea.
need
I don't
to
want
go
anyone,
ourselves.
don't want anyone seeing our faces yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I conjure up Zip, but carefully.
I'd say that you can sort of turn into the car and just like
Yeah.
yeah.
Conjure up Zip and send it that way.
You see Boblem fold his hands, his eyes go to solid black again, and Zip flies off. So where are you going to? Are you going up to what the barracks?
Yeah.
Okay.
Up to the barracks and kind of flying
Mhm.
near foot, but not too close when they're like, bird.
Yeah.
They punch him.
You fly to about 5 feet away, and the dwarven man doesn't seem to be responding. Like doesn't seem to have noticed it, as it's so small. Like the vibration is so quiet, you can't really perceive. Are you trying to look over at what he's doing, or him, or at the barracks, or?
I suppose we would have said we want to know what's on that notice. Like,
What's on that?
yeah, because I was looking for identifying features.
Yeah.
Going close to
Just
the
like, this is where the Weeping Eye lives.
I was here.
It seems to be a notice of Elyse. You see dozens more scrolls in his bag, and looking over his shoulder through Zip, it seems like there's a price of rent, like monthly or like per annum rent, which has been scratched out 2-3 times, as now at a lower number. You see this sign basically from the officials of the city, like offering out these places for rent. You see, you fly up and look over to another one, and you see this on multiple of these barracks, like along the road.
Okay, I relay that information.
Interesting. Hang on.
Related to anything you know about?
No, I'm just thinking. I mentioned to you that I want to find longer term accommodation.
Yeah.
It's subtler to have our own space than to be in and out of a tavern.
Oh, definitely.
How much was the rent on the sign?
The lowest number was 400 gold
For a week?
for 1 month.
1 month?
Maths.
100 gold a week. We could do that. We have the funds.
Yeah, we do now. So that's an option. You said, well, we've both said that we should try and stay somewhere where they're not. So
Yes.
do we want to try and find them first before we...
Would you want to see how far up we can go?
It's a good question. What? So this is the third tier?
Yeah.
This looks like fairly decent streets.
Decent enough. Yeah. It's surprisingly quiet. It's a lot less busy than the first and second tiers.
Would it be somewhere where you could feasibly say, like, I'm a lord and I'm visiting the city and still stay here, or does it still look too low class?
Depends where you're a lord from, I guess. And that'd be relative to whoever you're speaking to and whatever you're trying to say, like,
Yeah.
potentially. And not everyone you speak to has to know exactly where you're staying, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true.
I do have an idea
Mhm.
that we could rent an accommodation like this, and I could perhaps also rent a room further up the city. Have access to both.
Move between different tiers, come and go.
So, let's say a lavish place on the 5th tier. So you know, not necessarily on 5th tier, but a lavish place, 2 gold a night.
Yeah.
Top tier maybe 5.
I think that would be a good idea.
It's a good idea, I'm just not sure if we should commit to anything before we know.
How far we can
Well, there's
How far we
plenty
can go
of
and
these
where.
places around.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to have to snap this one up quickly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, maybe they go like hotcakes in the city, you have no idea. But yeah, we should
Finish our house
keep it in
first.
mind, and yes.
I'll assume, right, like for now you're like parked up somewhere. While
Yeah,
Boblem
yeah.
is, like, supplying one.
Mhm.
Are you looking for anything else? So you're sort of just at the moment like 5 feet behind his shoulder, like reading over the notice.
Do I hear any? I want to say interesting conversations, but what is an interesting conversation?
Well, there's no one with him, so he's
Okay.
not speaking to anyone. But you do, as a point of note, you hear nothing from the space beyond. And so they're like the barracks within.
Yeah.
And even if you like pop up like a foot or two, see over the walls,
Mm.
you can see it's completely deserted.
Oh. I relate that information.
It makes sense if they're trying to get people to move into it.
Do you think they're moving people down? And that's why there's so many empty buildings? Or moving
Perhaps.
people up?
Maybe. Don't know enough about the city to say.
In the second tier, it did seem like people were gathering around the gate, didn't it?
And it looked very overcrowded. As most slums do, to be honest. But,
Right, I say we locate the Charlotte House, perhaps not on horseback.
yes. That's another thing, we need to get rid of these. Somewhere safe.
If those of you who can disguise yourself or perceive a little further without being noticed, could scout around,
Yeah.
disguise yourself, ask some questions, find out
What kind
where
of
this building
questions?
is. Perhaps just say you have some business with the Charnel House and you're looking for directions. Simple as that.
Yeah.
But not as yourself, because I don't want that connected back to us.
Okay.
I'm already in disguise, so.
I've been watching Elyse.
Oh yeah?
I've been watching when Elyse and Cassian have done it.
Okay. If you're up for it,
Mm-hmm.
then perhaps I can stay with the horses.
Okay.
With anyone else who wants to stay and whoever wants to ask questions and find
I'll
out
come
where
with
we
you.
need to
I'll stay with you then.
At this point, you would see the dwarven man moves away from the door and begins walking just down the street, like away from you.
Is it like a little alley or something?
It's a fairly wide enough road for the.
But I mean, I can go in and use my.
Yeah. So you could basically flank round the side of the barracks and go, and you could find a point where there's definitely no one around.
Okay. Astra just hops off the side of the thing, then walks around, and then a 6 foot tall half orc walks back.
Nice.
Who's got dark and like light green skin with lighter green patches, or like lighter grey patches, sorry, all over.
Yeah.
Short reddish hair and really dark brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I
Good job.
one tusk.
One big tusk.
Oh.
Yeah, one big tusk.
It's a useful spell, isn't it?
Astra?
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna have to start keeping track of all of this.
I've never done it before, so I think it turned out.
You did a good job.
Does he still have Astra's accent?
Yes.
Just a soft Irish half-orc.
I love him! Husband!
So I guess if it's names, then my name's. Oh, his name's Rufus, so I'm gonna go with that.
Okay.
So is this someone you knew?
Yes.
Rufus. I'm going to lose track of all these names.
It's okay.
We need to start keeping a list.
I'm sure, don't worry about it. Shall we go? Is anyone else coming with us? Cassian?
Can if you want me to, but 2 should be enough, right?
Sure.
We'll wait here.
So where are you two going?
So we're outside the barracks now. Are the buildings next to it, do they look like the same kinds of buildings? Like, is it multiple barracks or are there...
No, the barracks themselves. So they're all like enclosed off within walls, like square
Okay.
walls. So that's like essentially like a small block.
Yeah.
And then the blocks next to that are just regular buildings. But these sort of blocks of barracks, which you notice are all uniform, they look pretty much exactly the same. They are sort of spread out. You have seen other barracks, but only ones of this sort of coloration design have been specifically like left abandoned.
Yeah, I guess I would want to look for maybe like a shop or an inn or something somewhere where you could go in and just like chat to the owner and be like, oh, I'm new in town, can you tell me blah blah blah,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
You see, so sort of going up and down the street and like maybe down one side one, you see, so you went past the Labourers Bar, you also see the Gory Club.
Nice. What does that look like? Sorry, what? Is that like a tavern or a shop?
Oh, it's a tavern. Sorry, they're both taverns.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
I reckon we have good luck in a tavern.
Probably the Labourers Bar, I'm not too sure about the Gory Club.
Yeah, we'll go.
Okay. You go in and it is pretty full. The air is pretty silent. There's like low chatter going on. Most people just sort of sat like shoulders forward, like punch. I sort of like engage in like quiet, occasional conversation. Like sentences are thrown out sort of passively, but it's not like any animated chatter.
Mm.
There's a lady behind the bar seems to be human, sort of pale, a little bit gaunt, sort of like greasy black hair just hanging down by her sides. Who's sipping a drink of her own, and looks up when you come in and just sort of gestures to a table. And,
Yeah.
We go and take it.
Yeah.
Seems lively in here.
I guess. Sorry, you said that woman was at the bar.
yeah, so she stays behind the bar. She doesn't come out to you.
Should we
Go buy a drink. Yeah, go up to her and order a single whiskey.
And gives it to you enough.
Do you want one, Rufus?
Sure.
Just looks the two of you up and down.
Elyse knocks it back and just goes, oh, that was quite the journey. My friend and I are new in town. We have business with the Charnel House. Would you be able to give us directions?
At that, her face does sort of like change expression and puts down a drink. Sorry, the Charnel House.
Yeah.
What do you have with that bloody pack of dogs?
You don't want to know, honestly.
The sort of face turns a little bit and like.
Look, I'm as disgusted as you are, but
We don't really want to have to deal with this, so the faster we can get it over with, probably the better.
yeah.
Alright. First tier. Against the second tier wall. Come out of the tier gates and basically head along the wall maybe a mile and a half. It's in the Swills, off Miners Road. There's a couple of blacksmiths nearby.
Ooh.
Don't spend too long there.
No, trust me, we
We
don't want
don't plan to. Thank you so much. Very helpful.
I get that a lot.
Have a good day.
Busy in here.
Thanks. Lots of folk not working. Thanks for bringing it up.
Oh, is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Well, we're new in town, we've never been here.
Folks leaving the city in droves.
Why is that?
How if I know? 12, 13 the companies. Up and left. Past month. Now there's folks here, blacksmiths, armourers, farriers, are out of work.
Is that companies of mercenaries you're talking about leaving the city?
It's all sorts.
Hmm.
If you haven't, well, you wouldn't see them around. Maglubiet's companies. Hobgoblins. That sort.
And why would that make everywhere else stop working?
Well, if they're not buying weapons and things, I guess there's no reason for anyone to be going to the blacksmiths.
12, 13 companies, 100 soldiers. That's a lot of people who don't need to be fed, don't need to be armoured.
I'm
A lot
sorry.
of space is empty. It's bad for the area,
Yeah.
bad for business. Street gangs come in and take over some of the barracks.
Oh, really?
Cause trouble, aye.
But we're not looking for trouble, so don't worry about that.
I don't suppose so. And she pours herself another drink and sort of sits back. A couple of people have like turned around to look at you and like not making any secret of it, like visible, like turning over and sort of eyeing you up and down, but don't seem to make any moves towards you or anything.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. But thank you for your help. And I give her another silver as like a tip.
Thanks. Good for my business, obviously, but feel bad for these lot.
Yeah. You look like a right mess down there
Oh,
as we came through.
yeah. The swills are even worse these days. But what can you do? Shit rolls down the tiers.
Yeah.
Right, well, thank you so much for your help.
Thanks.
Enjoy your drinks.
Thank you.
Thank you. He's already drunk. Is Astra drunk his?
A little bit, and then he was like, oh, shoot, okay.
Yeah, 2 shots with the Astra.
We should get back to them now.
Yes. So we'll head back to the others and relay the information. So I guess, are we all like bundled in the cart or something, or are we going to find somewhere a little bit quieter to speak?
Well, you left the car sort of like parked up on the side, basically, in sort of a wide enough road that you can get it down. And sort of horses are just chilling there as well. People do come and pass by.
I'll just keep my voice low and just say, first tier, so we don't need to worry about here. She said near the second tier wall, gave us directions.
About a mile off from the gates.
So yeah, so we should be good to take those barracks if we want to, but she did mention something about street gangs sometimes coming in and taking over them, so I'm not really wary of where exactly we choose.
Which way do we see that dwarf go?
Would have headed off slightly north, like in the direction of the gate.
Wondering if there's any barracks on the higher tiers, away from the trouble.
Yeah.
Apparently as well, by the way, lots of people have been leaving, which has put people in this area out of work.
She said like 12 or 13 companies have just up and left the city, and that's why everything here is so empty and everything down below is so packed full of people.
With the mercenaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why would
Left on a contract or left for
Just
another
up
reason?
and left.
why would so many of them leave at the same time?
She didn't know. But it might be something worth looking into, especially, you know.
They're heading east.
She mentioned the
Mosaics.
Mag-
Bluebeards. She said they were a hobgoblin company, and didn't we see
Like
They're
hobgoblin
heading
tracks?
east. We saw them
Yeah.
across the bridge near the abbey.
Do you know anything about that from your experience? Anyone?
Have I heard
Why they
anything
might be going?
to this effect?
I mean, you've not heard anything like recently or about this in general. No, you know what you know about hobgoblins. You've known a few, all decent folk. Very organised, very militant, and you know that hobgoblin armies and forces are very, very driven and organised.
It's not something I know anything about particularly, but it is something I would like to keep an eye on and perhaps find out more about. I don't like the idea of hundreds of mercenaries heading east.
As if someone's rallying them.
Maybe.
Another war?
Anything going on in the
What
east? Anyone knows?
What would be east from here?
Watchers, Respite, Frostguard, Arrakis, or down to the bay.
But let's not jump to the worst conclusion straight away.
Yeah.
No, it's just something to think about.
It could be a very unfortunate coincidence, who knows, but it's definitely something worth keeping an eye on.
Onwards and upwards for now, I suppose?
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally upwards.
If we need to, we'll come back to these ones, but
Yeah.
don't really want to be attacked by street gangs for the night.
No.
No, me neither. I mean, I'm sure we could take them, but it's just an inconvenience, you know.
No, unnecessary blood spilled.
I'm gonna ride on ahead a little bit, see if I can spot that dwarf.
Make a perception check.
Okay.
Spot that dwarf.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It takes you about 10 minutes. He's got a fair bit from you now, but you are able to catch up, and you have seen him. You sort of ride past him, looks up at you sort of nervously, and then keeps sort of pressing on.
Slow the horse and... Excuse me.
Ah! Yes, how can I help?
I've seen you nailing notices to the barracks.
Yes, are you a renter? We're desperately looking.
Could be.
Wait, really?
Yes. I'm interested.
Calm down, speak to me on my level. Come on.
I'll slide off the horse.
Meris,
Marquise.
pleasure to meet you. I'm sure you know, look, there's lots of people who are coming in, squatting and destroying the barracks. We need these rented desperately. The city is hemorrhaging money. And frankly, I don't know what we're going to do for much longer if these places all remain empty.
Understandable. Is it just this level or higher?
There's one or two on the fourth.
We'd be interested in those, myself and my companions.
Okay, he sort of rummages in his satchel and pulls out and sort of like looks. No, that's for here, and pulls on. Okay, and basically reads out an address. Well, I can bring you up there and show you. There's each of the barracks there are going for at least 600 gold a month.
We'll take a look. I'll just wait for my friends to catch up with us.
Okay.
In the meantime, is there no one attempting to stop these squatters?
Attempting, certainly, but once they embed themselves, there's little we can do.
Interesting.
Hence, sort of gestures to one down the road, which is like boarded up now. Are you with a company, a group? Or?
I'm with an entourage.
Okay.
Simply looking for accommodation.
Mm-hmm. And you're good for the rent?
Yes.
It'll be paid in advance?
Yes, I say. Just resting my hand with the signet ring on my arm.
That is a great relief. I don't suppose you have many friends in your circles who are also looking for long-term accommodation?
I could be if we could strike some sort of deal.
Sort of like tears come to his eyes. I might not lose my job. No.
I'll see to it that you don't. Just help us out.
Okay. Very well. So the rest of you are catching up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10-15 minutes or so, and the cart trundles along and... these must be your companions.
Yes.
Hi.
Meris!
Hi.
I work for the city. I'm told you're potential tenants looking at one of the old company barracks.
That's right.
We'll be heading up to the next tier.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course.
Come show us.
Of course. It leads you through, and you walk for about 20 minutes. You pass a few places. You pass a store called the Shiny Coin, which seems to sell curiosities and arcane artifacts. You pass a bunch more barracks. In the distance, sort of like a block or two away, you can see the orange glow of what you've determined to be by the location on your map of the Temple of Moran, the Overforge, and the Anvil Hold next to it as well. You pass a few barracks which seem to be lively and full of life and manned. Barracks of the Keepers of the Plains, the Shroud, and the Velvet Teeth, before you get to the tier gates. And you are led up, and here the doors aren't closed, but sort of half closed, and people are being let through on like an admittance. You see numbers of people turned away in front of you. When you were brought up to the gate, Meris looks out to one of the guards and has a very brief conversation with them, and they let him through instantly, and he gestures that the 6 of you are with him as well, and you're allowed through.
Yeah.
The doors opened and then closed. The guards you see have been like asking questions of people and sort of not interrogating, but why do you need to be up here? Is a little gist of conversations you get as you're waiting on the line. You see, once you're in, fine stone buildings. You see gargoyles and decorations sort of clinging onto the edge of roofs. People don't seem to give you the same dirty looks, although people are looking at all of you as a curious sight as you are. But the streets no longer sort of with piles of rubbish or waste like pushed up against the walls, and orderly buildings, decently clean like pavements and cobblestone floors. And at one point, after a point, you come up to another of the barracks. This one looks larger than the ones you were at before, but of the same design, sort of light grey stone and terracotta tiled low walls and buildings. You can't really see past the wall itself, the doors are closed, but brings you up to it and then brings out certain keys and am I to show you around?
I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. Puts a heavy key and grinds open the door. You see in front of you, like a training ground or a courtyard of some sort. You see like packed clay. Along the sides, you see low buildings, what was probably a stable. You see remnants of an archery range, and in front of you, a large like C-shaped building, which is probably like one of the main buildings of the barracks itself. The building's like well built, with very little decoration or embellishment, just a light grey stone, dark oak fittings, these terracotta tiles. So brings you through the courtyard and sort of just talking about what it is, shows you the stables, low walls which are like 10 feet high, brings you into the building and just wanders you through empty rooms, most of which are stripped and completely empty. You see bare bones of like furniture, of like bed cots and tables and things that are too big to carry, but nearly everything's completely gone. Get to one room and door is locked and you can't get in it, and sort of, he brushes it off for later. But yeah, it takes you through what seems to be like a large like mess hall, individual rooms, storage rooms, probably to suit about 100 people in total.
Fair.
That's 100 people with most of them in like 2 accommodation rooms, and then a set of like an officer's wing as well, with like a small mess hall and like individual looking rooms around there.
Well,
Looks good for our purposes, I guess.
Seems fitting
I
enough.
think definitely so. I lean into Elyse and say quite quietly, I suggested I might be able to bring more people to the city to rent. Perhaps you can do some persuading to lower the rent. And I'm going to stroll away from Elyse and just sort of look around like I'm absolutely charmed by the place. I think we have to have this one.
It takes your fancy.
Yeah.
Oh.
How much were we talking here again?
Well, the price is 600 gold for the calendar month.
600.
Very reasonable. All things considered, it's already been knocked down 3 times.
I understand that, but we're a bit... we have to consider our budget, you know.
I understand.
I'll start speaking to him in Dwarven as well.
Ooh, okay.
Because I can do that because of the Dwarven ear cuff.
Yes. His face sort of like beams. He's like, oh.
Yeah. I'm sure, like, between us, you can knock it down a little bit, you know. You understand.
I mean,
she winks at him.
Sort of blushes, and dwarves are great miners and stonemasons, you know. We do knock things down very well.
Yeah, you do.
Puffs his chest up a little bit.
She like plays with her hair a little bit as well. She's like, I know.
Blushes and looks at all of you. And does like, I'll see what I can do. Make a persuasion check.
With advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on. Oh no, that's terrible. That's 10. Was that persuasion? Sorry.
Yes.
It's 10.
Best I could do would be
It's for me.
560.
I turn to the others and say in common, 560 a month.
Can we pay that weekly?
Of course. There's an office on this tier, and it gives you directions and basically says where rent can be paid.
Could cast suggestion on it.
Although the first month must be paid up front.
Right.
We can do that.
We can. Considering if it's good enough or whether we should go elsewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm certain it's good enough. No? I mean, look at the facilities alone.
Well, it's been stripped bare, hasn't it?
Well, yes, it would be more were it furnished. But 540.
My lord is used to a certain standard.
I understand, but please, that's the lowest I can go.
535.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, come on.
Can I like aid because I've been dealing as well?
Yours, it's a lower DC because yours is already factored into
Okay.
it.
That's only an 8.
Oh.
540 is the lowest I can do. Any dreams of commission is gone.
Fine.
540 it is then. Thank you for being so understanding.
I'm very relieved, and I'm sure you'll enjoy your residence very much. Very much.
Thank you.
How will you be paying? By gold bars or platinum?
Come down with you and pay.
Sure.
If you want to get settled in,
Sure.
I will follow him out, so usher him out
Yeah.
down to where he said the offices were to pay.
It leads you about 15 minutes away, like sort of like through the city.
As we're walking, I'll just say, Maris,
Marquise
these companies that are leaving the city,
left the city, unfortunately. Last one 3-4 days ago.
are there any rumours as to why?
No idea. Up and left a company at a time over the course of a few weeks.
Or similar in size? I know some of the companies here are looked down upon. Are they
Identical in size.
good companies?
Fairly respectable.
And would anyone know where to get information on what they were doing?
I mean, there's their shrine to their deity, and gives you directions to a place on the 3rd tier. But frankly, I haven't seen any of the fists, so they call them. No, in a few weeks since they've all left. Ran out a lot of rental agreements.
I can see that.
Deposits be damned.
Fair enough. Anywhere higher up, that might have more information, or is that sort of thing not regulated here?
I confess, I don't spend much time higher up. This alone is a luxury.
I understand. If you do know anyone who can help with information, that would be...
I'll see what I can gather. And when you visit next month, I'll see if I have anything by then. But perhaps.
I'll follow him in, and I will, before we get to the door, stop him one more time and give him just 5 gold for himself.
I appreciate this.
Consider that your commission.
You can do it when you can. Lead you into a small, like 2-story building with the crest of Shadebourne over the archway, which is 2 swords and 3 stars between them, silver on black. Leads you in and goes through, which I will not role play out.
Just D&D stated!
Please roll play it out!
The process of signing a lease for a month
God.
on these barracks takes you through a
true millennial dream.
Living all our dreams, lads.
We're still not owning property. Still.
That's how bad it is.
Having the money to pay a month in advance. Oh my
Oh
god!
my god!
What?
Yeah. Feels a little awkward signing his cousin's name at the bottom of a lease, but oh well.
Yeah. You sign the lease and the paperwork goes through and hands you a contract and the files is away.
As for furnishing it, better. Where would you send us to?
Gives you a list of carpenters and people who are essentially accustomed to that sort of thing. Gives you a list and estimates it at probably 100 gold. Like pulls up like a bunch of like recommended places so you can put in a good word and stuff and get you this good price. And like over the course of a day, could have places like things delivered.
Absolutely appreciated, Maris.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Should you need anything, should any trouble stir up that you need help with, come on.
Well, there are a few places where some uncouth types have begun squatting and taking up residence, and not a copper of rent, I tell you. If they were ushered out, I wouldn't be opposed to that.
We wouldn't be opposed to helping.
I'm sure we're on the same page. I sort of did see like the array of weaponry on you, and blood needn't be spilled, but
I'm sure we have other methods.
ushered out,
Ushered.
kindly persuaded. I'm sure you catch my drift.
I do. I will see you in a month, if not sooner.
I look forward to it.
I'll head back to the barracks.
As soon as Brandon left, we start scoping out the rooms.
Yeah.
Did you say how many stories it was? Is it just one? Or is it multiple stories?
The large building, like the C-shaped building, is 2 stories, and most of like the single rooms are in sort of one cluster off the wing on the 2nd floor. I'll pull up like a proper map for it. I'll give you one later. There seems to be like an officer's mess between all these rooms, and then below are all the accommodations. There are the like canteen and the kitchens. And on this floor as well, there are also like planning rooms, like just by virtue of a long table in there, and a lot of just empty rooms you can't work out what the purpose is. To one side in the courtyard, the stables. In the main C-shaped building, down on the other end is where there's the one locked room. You determine that locked because at some point the lock had been broken. And so they probably just left it and like, not worth the effort.
Would knock work on that because the lock is broken, or would we have to smash it down if we wanted to see what was inside?
Read me the description of knock.
That's right, I took it off for now, but I can.
Is anyone else doing anything in the barracks?
Looking for the fanciest room. I know there won't be a fancy room in the others, but I will determine which one is the fanciest.
Elyse would just like to be as close to like having roof access as possible, basically.
Well, they're all on the same floor, and you could climb out the window of each one and like get up onto the roof.
Yeah, so she'll take something on the second floor.
Yeah.
Anywhere where I can put the horses and stuff?
Yeah, there's the stables. There's the stables.
I go do that.
Yeah.
It
seem happy.
says the object can be a door, a box, a chest, a set of manacles, a padlock, or another object that contains a mundane or magical means to prevent access.
I'd say probably wouldn't work. You'd probably have to break it down.
Okay.
Because it physically can't open because the lock is
Because the lock
somehow
is broken. Okay.
garbled. All the rooms
That's it.
look exactly the same. They're pretty bare. They have like some basic furniture, basically like a bed frame, but no bedding.
Well, Cassian is just like arbitrarily perceiving which one he thinks is the best.
Yeah. They all seem to be left in like a pretty tidy condition. It's not like they just grabbed their shit and ran. They've taken time to like clean this as they went.
Gross. Weird. Don't like it.
Actually, as well, hearing the rumours, just sort of having a look around to see if anything was mistakenly left behind.
Yeah, that was sneaky, sneaky.
Mhm.
Look.
Make an investigation check.
Can I give him advantages? I'd like to do
Yeah,
that
if you're
as well.
looking as well, yeah.
18.
18, okay. You find a number of basically like nails and screws. You find a fair couple of horseshoes in the stables, a couple of arrowheads which are embedded into the walls or around the floors where the archery range is. You find 3 copper like stuffed in like a crack in a wall. That's all you find.
Someone's life savings.
I'll take the 3 copper, I guess.
You do find the locked room. You're able to see through the keyhole, and you can see plenty of stuff in there. You can see it looks to be like a storage room of some sort, like not like the full armory, but you do see like scraps of armor, like some half plates and breastplates. You can see seem to be like some crested helmets, and that's all you can currently see at the moment.
Try and bust in there.
Could we like stick my dagger in the door and just like try to jimmy the lock?
I'd say
You have acid damage.
I'd say that you basically have as much time as you want. Like you could find some way to break down the door.
Just don't want to smash it to bits because we are
No.
renting.
No, but like you could like break the lock or break the hinges or something. You could get it off.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're not under any time pressure, so I'm saying you can do that.
Oh, I want to break into the room.
I'm laughing at the image of coming back to the barracks and finding all of you at this lock.
Right, we're going to smash the door down.
Yeah, you're able to get it open. And yeah, you find a bunch of armor. You find some studded leather, a couple of just breastplates, one on like a mannequin, a set of half plate. You see 3-4 helmets. You sort of like bronze helmets with long cheek guards coming down and red horsehair crests at the top. These round shields with sort of 2 like indents taken out of them at like 2 and 8 o'clock. So like a circle with 2 chunks cut out. Some spears and short swords as well.
Do they look sized for human elf height?
Anything size Sariel?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're all
Size small.
they're all for a medium-sized person or creature. So yeah, theoretically you could take.
That studded leather armor.
They're not really gaudy.
It doesn't look gaudy. It's the leather that's there is a sort of reddish brown, kind of like studded with some with like dark iron studs, some with bronze studs, and it's sort of layered and tiered on the shoulders and over the ribs as well. It has sections that come down over the thighs and comes down over the shoulders and sort of over the elbow and van braces for the wrists as well.
So holds it up, not really knowing what she's looking for.
You can put different pieces of it on, whatever suits you.
Not very.
Or we can get something for you.
Yeah, maybe. I
Okay.
suppose this will do in a pinch.
Exactly. But hopefully we're not getting into any pinches too soon.
No.
When everyone is back together, when you have returned,
Come back in the door leaning against him.
we'll sort of turn to everyone and be like, do we all find it strange and slightly disturbing that this place was not left in a rush, but rather meticulously packed up and cleaned?
Definitely.
Yes.
Like they were planning this for a
Yes.
while?
I believe they probably were. Hobgoblins typically are very organised.
Yes, but it begs the question.
What they're doing.
Exactly, and
Wherever they.
how long have they been
Do you
planning
think
for?
these, like the 12 or 13 companies, however many that left, are doing something together, or that something's happening to draw all of them away separately?
From what they said, they didn't all go at the same time. So the first one went like 5-6 weeks ago, and the most recent one has been like a couple like within the last week.
Yeah.
So,
I find it strange too. I asked Maris and said there aren't even any rumours as to what they're doing. They're just up and leaving, which seems very strange in itself, but
And you said the city's whole thing was having a bunch of mercenaries in it, so it's
Why
really
it's
strange they
perfectly
would all
good
leave.
work.
yeah.
Going where?
And it seems like the city's entire economy is supported by it, so
we weren't really looking, but it's not like we noticed other streams of tracks like we saw near the Abbey, which makes me worry that they're all going in one direction.
I wonder where. Maybe we can ask around and find out more, but obviously we don't want to draw too much attention to ourselves considering what we're doing.
Well, maybe if we find some allies higher up, they might
Yeah.
have pertinent
Deal with
information.
this. Yeah, deal with this weeping eye thing first, and then maybe we can snoop around a bit. I hope the weeping eye haven't left, but it doesn't seem like they have.
No, I don't think so. It's strange.
Well, if the upper tiers are anything like what I assume them to be, there'd no doubt be gossip up there.
I'm sure they will.
Might be worth a snoop.
Perfect.
Those slums hurt my heart.
Me too.
How is this allowed to exist like this?
People
Such a
don't
clear
care.
definition between the classes. Why?
People don't care enough. They
Money
don't care for
talks.
themselves.
People at the top like it that way.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many empty houses around and people sleeping on the floor. Why not just let them sleep in these empty houses?
Because
But-
according to the people at the top, these people at the bottom aren't good enough.
Yeah, they don't deserve it.
But those at the top have their houses. What do they care?
They don't.
Cassian looks quite sheepish.
We should try and help them, but not yet.
Yeah. We'll take care of our business, and then maybe we can see if we can do anything, but we need the element of surprise and subtlety first and foremost, so
One thing at a time.
yeah.
And then we knock down these walls.
Yes, we do.
Someone's going to dismantle this.
I might.
So, what do we want our first move to be?
Right, was there a room with like a big table?
Yeah.
The planning.
Long table it has like 12 seats.
The war room.
Genuinely, Vannon walks in there and rolls out the map and lays it down on the table, ways down the corners. And it's just, okay. So the Charnel House, you said it was...
That's the first tier against the second tier wall, a mile and a half from the gates.
So it's in the swills off of
Miners Road.
Miners Road.
Yeah. There's loads of blacksmiths nearby, so we should be able
Sure,
to find it.
I can identify that now on the map.
Yes, you're able to pick out the Swills and then Miners Road. You can pull like there maybe like 3 or 4 blocks it is on.
So it's here. I would say information that we need. We need to know how many people come in and out of this building. We need to know how heavily guarded it is. Anything that we can know, if it's anything like this one, perhaps you can fly zip over the walls to look at the grounds on the inside and see what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
We need to know when they change their guard, how guarded they are at night. We need to put ourselves in the best possible position.
Yeah.
I'd rather not engage in any further combat with them. We did well, but we were lucky. We had a
And we
good
don't know how
advantage.
many are going to be in there as well. This is their stronghold. There's going to be way more probably.
And I'm sure we would alert the attention of city guards, other mercenary companies and all
Yep.
sorts. We don't want to do that. What we want to do is get in, get to their archives, find the record of who signed that contract, and get out again.
I should be able to do that. But now I've been practicing, and I think I could maybe cast invisibility on 2 people at a time. So maybe one of you could come in with me. Cassian, you can
3 of
disguise
you
yourself.
can disguise yourselves. The 2 of you can turn yourselves into some sort of creature that can't be seen or wouldn't be noticed.
Yeah.
I think it's probably best, as much as I loathe to admit this, that I stay here and compile the information.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say we take this over several days.
Yeah, definitely.
I suggest we give ourselves a time frame of 7 days, see what they do over a week. If anyone is willing to take shifts.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We take this
watching.
in shifts, people can take it in turns to prepare themselves.
Yeah, and I'm sure people want to look around the city as
That's
well.
what I mean, prepare yourself for what's to come, as well as trying to get a beat on this place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got this.
We do. In which case we should break down who's doing what and when.
What time of day is it now?
Right now it's like midday. You spent a few hours like walking up through the city.
Yeah. We could start today, or we could take a day to collect ourselves and rest. Look around the city, familiarise ourselves a little bit more.
I say rest and give those guards on the first tier some time to forget that we've just passed through here.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to see how many more tiers we can get through? See if there are allies or potential information further up?
We could do. We've got the rest of today.
Exactly.
See how far we
We'd
can
like
go
to.
before we're stopped.
I'd say that's a good idea. Familiarise ourselves with the city.
Exactly.
And it'd be good to look around the lower tiers as well. I know it's horrible, but the more we can know the layout of the first tier, the easier things will be if things do happen to go south. Which we always have to plan for.
Shall we split up then? Some of us go upwards, some go down.
Yeah, don't know what I'd rather do.
I'd like to go up. See what it's all about.
I don't think I'll be received particularly well the further down I go.
That's true. Well, I know how to blend in with that well enough, so, and there's some stuff I saw that I kind of want to check out anyway, so I'll make my way down and gradually go down to the first tier and see if I can kind of memorise the streets down there.
I think Boblem should be with you.
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
I know you might not want to go back into the first tier right now, but...
No, but it's important.
Perhaps you can find out from the people down there
Yeah.
what they're thinking and feeling,
Mm-hmm.
what they know.
Yeah.
We will help them
So,
when this is done.
Yeah. Yeah. We will.
Sariel, Astra, you two could take the middle tiers. Cassian and I will see how high up we can get.
good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could look around this neighbourhood and maybe see what we have access to here, that would be useful as well.
Mm-hmm.
We can do that.
You could always check out the did you mention about the carpenters to make it better furnished?
Oh yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
told
Yeah.
you what Renard said.
But didn't that... Isn't he going to go...
He wasn't going to do it, no, he basically gave you a list. If you spent 2 hours, 3 hours, you could go around basically the district that you're in, the Anvil Hold, and pick up enough stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was going to suggest
Yeah.
to these two, like as part of
Oh, yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, if you take the cart, then you could bring that and just load it up with all the stuff that you need and bring it back, or like a shopping trip.
We're going shopping.
Don't get arrested.
Same goes for you.
I'm not going shopping.
Who do we want to go with first?
Work our way up or down.
If
Okay.
we start at the bottom tier and work up.
Start
yeah.
from the bottom, now we're here.
Okay. Okay, so right, who's going bottom first?
Me and Boblem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although Elyse did also want to maybe just go via the Temple of Cord and stuff, and maybe not go in right now, but
Yeah.
just,
You can go scout it out on the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there was also the shop.
From the outside, it looks completely the same as the last one, if
Yeah.
like a little bit smaller.
Yeah. But yeah, she would like deliberately lead Boblem past it so that she can look at it and
You
see
went past it anyway.
if there,
You went
okay,
past it
alright.
anyway,
And just see if there are any like priests or clerics or anything outside, and just kind of
yeah. None outside, no.
look and see. So yeah, we'll head down to the first tier, I guess.
Okay, okay. Yeah, you make your way, spend the hour or so walking down to the first tier, and are you both, so you're disguised, Boblem, are you looking as yourself now?
Would my disguise still be up?
Only lasts an hour, doesn't it?
No, sorry.
So actually, I was going to say, sorry, I completely forgot this. She would have been keeping an eye out for posters, Dragonborn, etc. But I'm
You
assuming
have
there's
to,
none
I'll
of
tell
that
you if
here.
you see any, I'll tell
Yeah. So now now that she's seen that, she feels comfortable enough to drop the disguise, but she's still wearing the headscarf, and she has changed back into like just the tunic and the black sort of long waterfall jacket
Yeah.
thing. So simple clothing that could blend in and potentially in
yeah.
the first and second tiers, and with her hair covered.
you. Okay. Boblem, what are you doing?
I will turn into a spider.
Okay.
Just have a look around with my many eyes.
Okay.
How long does that last?
2 hours, I think,
Okay.
as well shape.
So if you change when we get down
How
there.
long would it take us to
About like
have
an
a look
hour
around?
to get down to the first tier.
No, but like I would change right before we get to the first tiers.
Yeah.
Just have to look
So
around.
we could like dip into an alleyway, you change and just like sit on my shoulder or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you get down to the first tier and walk back into the slums in the direction of the charnel house. Okay? Once you're a block or two past, one thing does catch your eye. You see a small crowd, and as you're walking past, you hear like stifled cries and shouts, like exclamation cries, not like crying. You see 2 guards pushing through the small crowd, and they seem to be dragging a body. They've covered the face with a cloak, but you can see they're completely limp. You see buzzings of flies around them as well.
Oh.
You see the crowd like slightly part and like people like shaking their heads in disbelief. A couple sort of follow off after them for a little bit, and the rest sort of disperse.
I'll just try and catch the attention of someone from the crowd and just ask, do you know what happened?
Another killing. Can't be long ago. Brennan over there said he smelt it. Smelt the body.
Has that been happening a lot? I just got here, sorry.
Yeah, you could say that.
Do you know why?
People
Just
kill...
desperation or?
No. People kill savage in the streets. No man or soldier. There's something else.
Something else? Did they just cover the head of the body? Would we have been able to see what kind of wounds it had?
No, they had like the cape was like thrown over the whole body.
The whole body.
Yes.
Oh. Well, if you knew them, I'm very sorry.
Not me personally, but it's been 2 months of this now. I'm not sure how much more the tears can take. That's got to be 50.
Really?
Around that.
Well, watch your back.
I'll be locking my door.
Yeah.
And sort of like make like a religious mark over their face and, excuse me, push it past.
Of course. Yeah, I guess I would just move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of maybe take note of what house he was dragged out of and try
It
to...
was like an alleyway between 2 houses.
Oh, an alleyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, take note of where that happened. And definitely be... I was already on alert, but much more on alert. And just as a side note, when I'm wearing the jacket, I keep my pouch of my arcane focus under the jacket so it can't be seen or touched by anyone else.
Okay. You walk for half an hour, like a mile and a half, and you get to the swills. Notably so, you see just puddles and grime, like sort of like waste, just refuse just piled up against the tier walls. This sort of indomitable like black slab of stone, which from where you are up against it seems to just go on forever. You hear the sounds of the city, glass breaking, people shouting around you. You go past dodgy taverns and dangerous looking accommodation. You do pick up a couple of blacksmiths and you get the impression that you're near Miners Road. You walk on for a little bit more and you see what is most likely the charnel house. You see palisade walls, like wooden beams with like spike top.
Just before we get to the charnel house, I would cast Disguise Self again, by the way. Just
Yeah,
so
you said you were
keeping
keeping
up.
You said you were keeping up, yeah, that's fine.
Oh no, sorry, I said I had dropped the disguise while we were
Oh, yeah,
there.
of course.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
casting it again.
Uh-huh.
Duck into an alleyway, etc.
Sorry, where was it? Okay, yeah, you see the 10-foot high wooden palisade walls running all the way around perimeter. You see a wooden gatehouse with like a small wooden tower, and you can't make out the details of everything beyond, but you can see at least one like L-shaped building inside this sort of palisade barrack space. Probably maybe 120 feet square in total. You take a wide berth.
So you said it had like a wall all the way around it, like our building does.
Yeah.
So they all have that same kind of design.
No, not necessarily. This one has like a large like gatehouse at the front as well. I mean, yeah, most of the barracks have had walls all the way around.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Like
Okay.
they all have the same sort of formation, even if they're not the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
exact architecture. Is it? Because she said it was like against the wall of the second tier. So is it like literally backed into the wall, or is
No.
there space to go all the way around it?
There's like a 5-foot alley between the tier wall and the like palisade wall itself.
Does it look as though are there like guards or anything outside? Any people outside that look like they belong to?
Make a perception check.
21.
Okay. You see one person up in the top of the tower, the gatehouse, which is like 2-3 stories up. You see 2 people, one knoll, one person, outside the gatehouse itself, closed doors. You see chained hyenas with them as well.
So that's one guard outside the gate.
No,
With-
2 outside the gate,
sorry, 2
one in the
outside the gate.
gatehouse.
Yeah, no.
One was. You can't tell the one in the tower.
One guard and then 2 guards plus 2 hyenas.
Yeah. Who are like chained
Outside.
up to, like, they're holding chains. Like leash chains.
Does it look as though if I attempted to go and walk around the perimeter of the building, they would consider that suspicious and sort of be like,
You know? You can go ask them.
I ain't going to ask them. But is there like enough space for me to walk around without it looking as though I'm coming to look at their building, or can I be like going down another street or something?
So the way that they're facing out is like away from the walls. So you would have to go around the side, out of their vision, and then turn another corner to get to the back wall.
So it doesn't look too suspicious if I go around that.
Probably not. No, there are people like walking up and down the streets. You do see a couple of like blacksmiths and dodgy-looking taverns to the sides of it.
Cool. Yeah, so if it looks like there's other people doing that, and I've disguised myself just sort of to blend in with the general
Yeah.
populace here, so I'll go and walk around one of the corners and keeping an eye out to see if there's more guards stationed all the way around, and looking up at the walls and any like higher buildings and stuff within the perimeter to see if there's anyone.
I gesture with my spider legs to be like I can go up.
Yeah, I'll let him go.
Okay. You don't see any more guards around the side.
Okay.
I
I'll let Boblem climb.
Yeah, I start climbing up the wall.
Yeah, you hold Boblem, spider Boblem up to the palisade wall. His legs reach out and climbing up to the 10 feet wall. As soon as you get over, you notice just beyond like the crest of the wood, so like a foot of wall itself, you see that it's encrusted with broken glass and spike and like shards of bone, all just sort of jammed into like a thin like concrete mix essentially. It's fine for you because you weigh nothing, but you know that if someone trying to climb over this, they would have a bad time.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like now that you know, you could probably say it's more like no one expects it to be there and would sort of fall onto it and really hurt.
Yeah. Like over the wall, what do I see? What's
Okay.
standing on top of it?
You see a courtyard of packed dirt with a muddy track down the middle. Debris like arrowheads, broken scabbards, loose bits of wood just like thrown on the floor up against the walls. You see the back of the gatehouse and part of it extend into the courtyard itself. You see what seems to be a large pen with multiple hyenas inside. You see one large L-shaped building, 2 stories. You see a couple of people moving about. You see one person with a crossbow loosing bolts into a range. And so those are the main things you see. So a pen, an L-shaped building, the gatehouse, and the courtyard.
Can I make my way over closer to where the guard is?
Yeah, it takes you a couple of minutes because you're quite small, but you walk along the palisade and creep up and get to the gate, like the gatehouse with the tower on. You climb up to the top, and you look out and you see he doesn't seem to have seen you at all. You see another knoll with a longbow, just sort of picking them like nails, they're like talons, with the head of an arrow. You see on the other section of this gatehouse, you can see another 2 people up top there. Okay.
Can I go over to the 2 people?
Yeah.
Just close enough to like eavesdrop on the conversation.
Yeah. They don't seem to be talking about anything in particular. It seems to be about when a couple of others will return. Make a perception check.
That's a spider perception.
Yeah, I just...
You use your mental stats.
Oh my.
Perception.
So just my usual.
Yeah. So you would know, like even with spider nose, the whole place just smells sour of like rancid meat, piss, waste, and damp wood.
13.
Okay. Yeah. When's Canon due back? How's if I know?
The name again, please?
Canon?
Canon. Okay.
How's that spelt?
You have heard this
No.
name
Yeah, we
mentioned.
heard this name.
Is this the white furred
Yes,
captain?
it is.
Right.
K-A-H-N-Y-M.
Okay.
How's if I know? I just don't want to be stuck around here anymore. Yeah, I feel that. It's alright down there, I've heard. Yeah, it's a good job. A few more days, our shift will be up.
Okay, then.
That's about all the pertinent
Yeah.
information you get.
Okay, do I get a sense of how many people and animals are in?
Okay. Make another perception check.
13.
13, okay. You see a cluster of hyenas in the pen. It's hard to work out from this angle exactly. You can see 2 of the very large ones, the giant hyenas, and then between 7 to 10 normal hyenas. Okay. 3 people at the top of the gatehouse.
Okay, yeah.
2 people guarding.
Yeah.
And 1 person sort of like listlessly just firing off with a crossbow.
Yeah.
At the
On the
makeshift
tower?
range.
Or is that
No,
on
like
top
on
of
the
tower
courtyard.
person? Okay.
On the courtyard.
Yeah. Yep.
You see, after a while, packs it in and moves into the L-shaped building. Like heads into on the ground floor, and then you lose sight of them as the door closes.
Okay. Imagine thing. Can I get inside the building, or just to like hang on, like, you know, the corner of the room there's like near the ceiling?
Mm-hmm.
Just.
So do you want what in the gatehouse or into the L-shaped building itself?
Into the building the guy went into.
Yeah.
How long are you staying up there for?
Once. How long have I been a spider? Well, I've been
Like
on, like, seen on the 2 guards.
this has been like 20 minutes in total.
20 minutes, okay.
Mhm.
So, can I make my way down the wall towards where the first 2 guards were standing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
front where Elyse first saw them?
You creep down and they don't appear to have noticed you.
Are they having any conversations?
Currently no. I'm sort of sat in like sullen resentment. One of them's like throwing like a bone occasionally to the hyena, and then like letting it run off after it, and then like yanking the chain so it can't quite get it, and then like pull it back and pull out another one. Throw it.
Okay. I will remember that.
On Boblem's shit list. Draw the line at animal cruelty.
I make my way back towards Elyse.
Okay.
She would have waited in the same spot, but tried to kind of do it in a way that doesn't look too suspicious. Like if there's sort of a shop around. Or
No
something,
one
she
comes
just-
down in that alleyway.
Cool. Yeah, and she would have maybe once Boblem comes back, just like go the full perimeter, just so she learns sort of what the layout of the streets are parallel
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Okay. Yeah.
Once
Once you've done a full perimeter, the guards do catch note of you and do keep eyes on you as you walk
she's going to
past.
decide she's never going to use again.
Yeah.
So
But just track you.
yeah, takes note of that. And then I would like to just continue kind of wandering the streets nearby and sort of try to learn the routes around
Mm-hmm.
and sort of keep an eye out for things like sewer grates, tunnels, if there is
Yeah.
anything like that, and also like take note of anything that could be a useful shortcut back to the gate to the second tier.
I'll say
If we
make a
had to
general
make a
perception
perception.
check.
16.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I'll draw up like a section of the map, or like cut a section out, and I'll give that to you, so you have like that visual reference instead of me like, explaining.
Yeah,
it. So-
because I'll forget it.
Yeah.
Cool. So she sort of knows like a general layout and options for different routes in and out if we need a more like quick escape or something.
You notice on this tier, no sewers.
Okay.
Whereas you have noticed them on the 3rd and 4th.
Oh no. Guess where those go.
That's what that smell is.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you two doing anything else, or are you recouping?
I guess once we're done with that, that was everything we said we were going to do, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We
We can say you regroup for now.
Yeah, I mean, if we're
Bottom spider
walking.
returns.
Yeah.
Yeah, once we're nearing the wall, like, go back towards an alley and turn back into
Yeah.
Boblem.
And I would ask him, what did you learn in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that building is definitely where who Renard is looking for were hiding. They mentioned Cannon.
The guard,
Yeah.
captain. Okay.
They were waiting for him to come back,
Mhm.
and then they were gonna set off. I don't know where or when.
Did they say when he was coming back?
No.
Because that.
But they seem to have 2 large hyenas, 7 normal ones, and 2 other people guarding on top of what we saw, the guard
Okay.
up top and the 2 in front.
The 2 up the other top, they were in that tower, but they weren't actively guarding. They were just like sat in like this like wooden room in the tower, just sort of shooting shit.
Yeah, and I kind of like, from the Outlander background and stuff like that, remember the layout
Yeah.
of the place,
Mhm.
so I kind of like narrate it to Elyse, but also will draw it out later.
Yeah.
in my
Okay.
notes.
Yes, that would be really useful for her.
Mm.
That's incredibly useful, thank you. If this guy's coming back, that might make things more difficult for us. Although I'm sure Ren would like some retribution.
At least we know that he's due to come back here, because they
Yeah.
seem like they were waiting for him.
Yeah, the fact that we don't know the time frame on that worries me, but I guess there's nothing we can do about that for now.
The least we can know is let Ren know.
Cool. Do you want to head back up?
Yeah.
There's
Now we get a time.
We do.
Where are you going to go?
So for us, it was just sort of a case of get to know this level, I suppose.
Okay.
Get to know this level, go and get like supplies for the
Mhm.
house, or like the barracks, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can say you take the like 2 hours going around the district that you're in. You determine it's called the Anvil Hold. One of the central points of it is the Temple of Moran, which you would walk up to. So around the area, there are many fine craftspeople, smiths, armourers, weapon makers. You get that they live in this area and they sort of outfit like the various forces of Shadebourne with arms and armour. You get the impression if you want magical armour or weaponry, it's probably the place to go. You see lots of dwarves, gnomes, elves, some orcs. You see the occasional minotaur and a red-skinned person. You come across the temple to Moran, which you find is called the Overfall, which is a wide square building, open-topped, without a roof, ringed by heavy bronze columns. It almost resembles a sort of Erin bath spring, which you might have heard of before, maybe not. The central area is open and filled with liquid, but there is, once you basically got the road next to it, you feel the warmth emanating from it and this orange glow from within. And you're able to like peek aside and see this central pool in the middle, just filled with glowing magma. Mhm. You see it runs out across in thin channels to 16 what seem to like forges, where a ring of hammer on anvil just beats out constantly. You see people mostly topless but wearing like aprons and heavy gloves and then sort of like trousers or thick leather skirts and beating out what you can't determine what it is from this distance, but you assume weaponry and armour. You see numbers of smiths coming up to the pool, heading between the columns and lighting torches and flames from the pool in the centre, or making prayers and heading out back to their various forges and workshops. You pass the other, a number of taverns that you pass: the Rare Book Inn, the Saloon of the Dukes, the Tavern of the Devils, the Virtuous Lion, and the Weeping Soldier. You pass a bookstore, the Song and Scroll.
I don't want to go there specifically, but just to make a note of anywhere that would do armour, potentially magical armour.
Yeah. Okay. You pass one very fancy looking building, this sort of large winged building which is tiled in sort of black with bronze inlay. Emblazoned on the stuff outside, you see coming in as well, this sort of circle of patterns and lines hanging above the doorway as well, reflecting that same sign. You see another set of barracks, this one larger. Make a perception check, both of you.
8. Natural 1. God, got 6.
Okay.
Bad.
You see people wearing sort of scarlet, like long draping robes and copper scaled armor with helmets that the copper scales like completely cover their face and spikes at the top with like red plumes. A couple of like 6 heading into the barracks before the doors close behind them.
Is there any sort of like insignia on the door and anywhere around that heraldry? I guess with my natural 1 I couldn't see that.
No, you wouldn't have seen it.
So bad today.
They seem familiar. There's something about them you can't place where you've seen people dressed like that before.
Can I think really, really hard? I'm gonna roll better today.
Burst a blood vessel.
It might come to you later.
A hindsight roll.
Like, oh yeah! Like Fang familiar?
Pardon?
Like Fang familiar?
You've not been to Fang? Oh, sorry, yes, you have, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? As you've been to Fang, I'll give you advantage on your roll.
Okay. 18. Better.
Okay. You've definitely seen these forces in large number in Fang, and that's what it twigs. Lady Turquoise's houseboat. This might be the barracks of the Indigni.
Yes, I want to know where this was.
What is it?
Should we head that way for a bit? And as we're walking away, like my tail around your area again, just sort of like. That's like really low whisper.
Yeah.
That's the Indigni barracks, like Lady Turquoise.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Okay, let's go the other way.
Yes. Like I doubt she sent words about us, but
Let's be cautious.
let's be cautious. They're not nice people.
No. Okay.
Okay.
Is that still on the 4th tier?
Yeah.
That was
the
on the
same
4th
tier as
tier,
us.
Yeah, a fair, like probably like 2-3 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
Because these tiers are huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'd have to like curve around a fair bit
Mm-hmm.
to get to them. But yeah.
Oh, okay, so we're not going that way. No.
Mm. So yeah, the closest landmark to you is the Overforge.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So you're like just outside of the Anvil Hold, which is the district where that is, sort of centered around that.
That was pretty impressive though, that overforge.
It was, wasn't it?
Very cool.
Although to be honest, when I first started feeling the heat coming out, I thought it was another bath, and then I saw what it was, and I go,
No, you don't want to.
Not
you
a
don't
good
want
bath.
to be in that.
no.
Unless you wanted permanent armour. But I don't suppose you'd be able to move after that.
No, I don't think so. I do like your new outfit, by the way.
Isn't it nice?
It looks really pretty on you.
Cassian's so talented.
He is. He made it suit you exactly.
Which is why I want to try and find some armour that would match it, sort of suit it.
Oh, we can do that now.
I don't know what I'm looking for.
Well, why don't we just have a look and see if anything jumps out at you?
My window shop.
Yeah, that's all we need to do. And then we'll place in some orders for some furniture on the way.
Yeah. Get some supplies in.
I'll go window shopping as we make our way back.
Yeah, okay. I'd say you'd be able to easily in this area find a tanner or an armor worker. Are you asking around looking specific for like enchanted armor, or just like a run-of-the-mill like armor?
Kind of both.
Okay. I'd say make an investigation check.
Don't do me dirty again. 12.
12. Okay, it probably takes about an hour of asking, but you get pointed back the way you came. The black and bronze building. Someone said if you want enchanted armor, that is the place to go. Idra Walkers.
You writing stuff down.
Okay. How do you spell it, sorry?
YDRA. And then Walkers, WARKERS.
WARKERS.
Workers.
Workers. Okay. And then yeah, we go and look. Oh, like
Yeah.
order some furniture and like pick it up in the car.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. I'll say
Bring the cart around.
You know the fantasy IKEA.
Do they have fantasy meatballs?
you bet.
Fantasy meatballs and fantasy veggie meatballs.
I'll say if you go into like a number of like armorers and tanners and stuff, you're able to find armor. So I believe as a druid, you can wear up to medium armor. So you can find a chain shirt, half plate, hide armor, leather, padded armor, scale mail, spiked armor, or studded leather. If any of those descriptions jump out, then we can talk about the cost or anything.
Hide would be amazing on Sariel.
Especially
that's
considering
the
your little wolfie.
Yeah,
That's the thing. She wanted to wait for Vanden because she didn't want to be
She
duped.
can wait. We can do this another time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's just
okay.
window shopping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're shopping now.
I'd say just from like going in and asking, between like 8 and 12 gold for a set of hide armor.
And in terms of enchanted armor, like how much roughly would that be, and what would it do?
So that'd be a case of going to a specific place and finding out. So, do you want to go to either of the walkers?
Let's go walk, like go past it.
We'll go walk.
Walk her past
I'm a work into workers.
Yeah, we'll go there.
Okay. Yeah, you head there to this pretty fancy looking stone building and sort of push open the door. You see like an atrium, a tiled atrium of black and bronze flooring, a large like black like ebony desk in front of you, 2 stairs winged which move up. You see people in sort of uniforms, these black and bronze tunics. You see people moving up and down stairs into rooms at the side. Above you and up at the top, this sort of glass interior window where like an office of some sort can be seen beyond it. People passing through in sort of robes and uniforms, some bearing like stacks of books or trays of materials. You can see one person, clearly like a slightly more senior member of like a staff, walking through with someone in very fine like blue silk robes. Like they seem to be like looking over a dagger and like talking as they walk into one building. Sorry, one room.
This is bougie.
A teal tiefling and a small elf walk into a bougie room.
Out of our depth.
Hi, we just wanted to see what you had available.
You're speaking to a young elf, sort of like a very short, very cropped, black hair, sort of indeterminate gender, and they look to be youngish for an elf, and the same sort of very simple robe and tunic. And are you looking for something off the shelf or bespoke?
Depends what you have on offer. Looking at enchanted armor, ideally.
You've come to the right place. Idris is where you want to be. And sort of just smiles and I'll have someone with you, please. Take a seat. And gestures over to like a row, like a chaise longue and everything like that.
Thank you.
You take a seat and another person, these sort of fairly simplish robes, comes up and brings over like a tray of like a carafe of iced water and wine and hands them over to you.
Sariel hates this.
Don't drink the wine, they'll make us pay some.
Do we have to pay to sit on the chaise lounge?
A woman approaches you, sort of like purplish grey skin and very, very white hair, white eyes, approaches and... hello.
Hello,
I'm Sariel.
I'm from Astra.
Doesn't offer a name.
I'm told you're looking for enchanted pieces of armour.
For my friend here.
Well, come with me. Stands up and like leads you through this atrium into one of the rooms off the side. And you get brought through into a gallery. You see mannequins and racks of embellished, gorgeous pieces of armour. You see racks on the walls of rapiers, of daggers, of maces, all manner of blades. You see plate armour, enamelled black and sort of very like high Gothic style, like full plate, down to like burnished, gleaming silver.
We're the wrong people to be here.
You see a couple of stone plinths as well, where various weapons are laid. You do see studded leather, hide armour. The hide armour are these sorts of patches of leather and cured and tanned hide with very fine like white fur trim around, and it's sort of made in this almost sort of scaled pattern, and sort of the sheaths of it like fall over each other. It almost like looks like feathers bounding over each other. You sort of, please take your time. Are these for yourselves or?
This is for me.
We have armour that will simply defend against most blows. Armour that can defend against something in particular, say the heat of a burning fire or the cold of a wintry night. We have armour that can take on the appearance of something else if you so wish.
That sounds pretty good.
Does. What sort of cost would this put me back?
Explains it all to you. There's essentially, for armour that is like +1 armour, it's 400 gold plus the armour cost. For like a armour with a glamour built in, 250 plus the cost. For armour of resistance, 280. So if you say you're getting hide armour of resistance, that'd be 290 gold.
Saying so quietly to Astra aside from her. This is why I never got armor. This is so expensive. I can help you out with. I don't need money.
No,
I don't need money. Sariel.
I don't need this fancy stuff. This isn't me. Look at it all. This isn't me.
It is a lot, isn't it?
It's a lot.
You pay for quality at Idris.
I'm sure you do. This isn't me.
Just like this is it's like walking into a department store when you buy your clothes on ASOS.
I'll think about it.
Of course. Any of these, and sort of gestures to some like weapons on plinths, like.
She can tell she's fighting a losing battle.
Yeah.
I can tell you my friends will be very interested in these, and we'll come back with them. We've just recently rented.
Oh, renting.
We rented just down the road, so we'll be back soon.
Yeah, some friends of ours are much better suited to this sort of finery.
As you can see, I don't carry a weapon, so.
I'm curious as to why you'd be in enchanted armories, but
For my friend.
of course. Well, I thank you for your custom, and I hope to see you with your friends again.
They'll be here. So.
It sort of gives you a very insincere smile.
Gives one back.
Yeah.
Gives her silver for a time.
Sort of puts their hand up, and it's not necessary.
Right.
And sort of gestures towards the door of the room and then the atrium beyond.
Have a lovely day.
I'm sure I shall.
Doesn't tell her to have a lovely day.
You exit Idrida Walkers. Okay? You look, as you leave, you see a figure up in the top office, sort of looking out the window, just. And you exit onto the street. Okay? Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Do you want to go look at just regular armour?
Again, window shop.
Just window shop.
Mm-hmm. You're able to go to plenty of places. You find one where you find sort of like a very, very old looking minotaur. And sort of like greying hair and doesn't seem to be making anything, but it's just like basically punching holes through leather when you come in, and as you come in, sort of stands up and welcome. Day's getting late, it's time for my tea soon.
Sorry to disturb you.
We won't be long. We're just looking for some armour from a friend here.
I've got a few pieces that could suit you. And brings out a few things. What sort of thing are you looking for?
You're just a breastplate.
Yeah.
Like hide, maybe leather.
Brings out basically into like the centre of the shop a suit of like light leather armour, one of the studded leather armour, which both of them are sort of pauldrons, your shoulders, a plastron, the breastplate, fan braces and greaves, so that's your basically knuckles, wrists, elbows, shoulders, pretty much completely covered, chest as well, hips and your shins, all in leather armour. It's reasonable enough to integrate it into your outfit and offers that you can help do that, like patches if you want to have your outfit showing, you can have the armour underneath it, or vice versa. The hide as well, it's still finely made, but doesn't look so much like these like scaled pieces. It's more larger patches, much thicker. You can still move in it well enough. It looks very warm.
How much?
For the studded leather, offers it to you for 45. For regular leather, for 10. For the hide, 10 as well. And then pulls out what was clearly once like a battered and beaten breastplate, but all like the dings of it have been like, polished over and buffed out. You see patches where it was like a bright silver once, so it's now like tarnished slightly. But there's still like an emblem, an insignia, which seems to be like a double spread eagle with 2 heads. It's finely etched into it.
And how much is
This has been through the walls, so 300 gold pieces.
Okay.
Which one do you like?
And that one includes shoulder plates, connection, and a back piece as well.
I think that would suit you.
I can't afford that.
Do you like it?
Not enough. I'm not looking to get anything today. I'm just trying to get an idea of what's available around here.
Of course.
I understand that you want to shut up shop soon.
I can give it some time.
That's okay. I think I'll go away and think about it and then come back.
I'll be open all day tomorrow.
Thank you.
Perfect, we'll come back.
I'll see you soon. Let you leave, and as you go, like pulls down the shutters after you.
I like minotaurs.
So do I.
I suppose just sort of get some general supplies for
Yeah.
the group.
Yeah, I will say
about
100
furniture stuff.
gold in total. We'll get everything you need. We'll like stock the kitchen, all the equipment and furniture you need, just basically all your basic house stuff. No, consider that everything in total. And that can be 100 gold in total. So
Okay.
if everyone puts in, a little bit.
20 gold each. Like
Yeah.
a little bit less than
Yeah.
that.
15, 20 gold.
But yeah, we'll spend it and then make a note to tell everyone when we get
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Start heading back, I suppose.
We will decorate before everyone gets back. Like a welcome home banner.
You're able to get all sorts. You call in the favour with, say like you have like a letter from a bunch of places, and you're able to get like rugs, linens, hangings, like soft bedding. You're able to get everything you need to live there.
Oh my god, I'm gonna Bobby Queer around this place.
You can like druid craft little like garlands of flowers.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you're able to get like lamps, like cooking equipment, fixtures, fittings.
Let's increase this place up.
Okay. All right. You two, Van and Cassian, what would you like to do?
It's the bougie tier time.
Can you ride?
I can certainly try.
You haven't ridden before.
I'd say like once or twice probably.
Yeah.
It's been a very long time.
It's just going to be a long way to the top if we go on.
I
foot.
can get on a horse, Vanden. Sorry, Dorian.
Good. Ready the second horse for
Okay.
Cassian to ride.
Yeah.
Do you need help getting up?
Sure, I can figure it out myself. I get on the horse.
Okay. It's a little bit of a struggle, but you get on. You don't need to roll for it. A little bit unsteady, but it seems to be responding well enough to you. It doesn't try to buck you off or anything. Okay.
Awkwardly, pat.
Yeah.
Keep the reins in one hand at the front of the saddle and keep your back straight like someone's pulling a string. down your back, like a puppet. Better. Just a nudge, don't kick it.
I'm not going to kick it.
Lead the horses out, head up towards those gates.
You trot out along the cobblestone streets, and you make your way through the district, so through the Amber Hold, and around the curve of the tier until you get to the zigzags and the gate above.
So what's the plan of action here? I'm not exactly a lord. I'm sure my Merchant's Guild status might get me a certain way, but...
Good question. Do we want to figure out how far you can get, or do we just want to get up to the top?
Shall I go by myself first? And if it fails, it looks less suspicious than if you come with me and then you come with someone else, per se.
Yes, leave the horse here. Try it out. Come back and get me.
Okay. I will approach the gate to the 5th tier.
The gates are actively closed, and there are 4 guards in front. Seem to be talking to each other. As you're walking up, you do see the doors opened, and one person is let through, and then they're closed again. You don't see many people, certainly not compared to the last years, people actively trying to get through. Yeah. You approach.
Yeah, I assume I'm stopped.
Yeah, the doors are kept closed. And you have business in the 5th tier?
Yes, and I will get out my Merchant's Guild scroll. I'm here to do some tailoring.
I don't see what business it has on the 5th tier. Run on, please.
I have clients in the 5th tier.
Do you have a letter from them?
Not on my person, no.
Then I suggest you find your letter and return.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Yourself as well, sir.
Turn around and go back to you.
No luck?
No luck.
Okay.
Seems they have quite the tight security in that you need to have a reason to be there.
Okay. Can you disguise yourself as anything?
Well, anything within my height, more or less. I can appear taller, or smaller, but if someone touched me, it would give it away.
Make yourself into Goliath man as tall as you can.
A Goliath.
Yes. Handsome. Short beard, no moustache. Noble clothing. Red.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. Cassian will duck into an alleyway and disguise himself as tall as he can, to as best as he can to that description.
Yeah, comes out and it's pretty convincing.
And we'll sort of make a note of checking for the height of doorways so that his head doesn't phase through them.
Okay.
Acceptable?
Looks pretty good.
Okay. I am interested to see where this is going.
Offer a hand out so Cassian can remount the horse
Mm-hmm.
more easily without struggling up. Just follow me and stay quiet.
Okay.
I will ride up to the gates.
Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Heading through to the cathedral.
Okay. You a resident?
Visiting. Lord
So-
Marquis from Moran.
Lord Marquis. You have papers?
Not on my person, but show off the family signature.
That's nice. I'm afraid we can't just be letting visitors through. If you bring your papers of note, I'm sorry, my lord, but we can allow you through.
Right.
These are unsafe times, unfortunately. I'm sure you understand.
I do. Unsafe how?
Spate of grisly killings. We can't be allowing what's been happening down below to infiltrate up top.
And yet you'd leave us out here?
I'm certain you can cope for yourself, sir. If you bring your papers, proof of residence or status, we can allow you through.
Fine. Well then, let's go get our papers.
There's a few temples on the 3rd tier, if you wish to pray.
Yes, I'm aware of that. Thank you.
I'm just trying to help.
Tie the horse away.
Look at you, the Goliath, the horse. Raise your eyebrows at the horse, which is not struggling.
We'll just have to ride away. I thought that was going to work better.
One would have hoped, but I suppose it's tight security at the moment. We could try and forge some papers.
We could indeed.
I don't know if you could... You might know what that sort of documentation would look like.
I have one with my own name on it.
Oh. We simply try and make a different one.
Maybe not ourselves. I don't know. We'll have to find someone who can. I imagine in a place like this you probably can find someone like that quite easily.
Yes.
I guess we'll head back to the barracks. Seeing as we can't explore the upper tiers.
Sorry.
They roll first.
You can drop the stupid disguise.
I will wait until we are back to just drop magic.
Yes, obviously.
Okay. Back at this tone again.
Yeah, ride back a little faster. Leave Cassian in the dust.
What a child.
You're able to take the horse. It does the thing where it tries to like lead off another way and you have to like pull it back. So you get back about 10 minutes after London.
I am in the room with the table and the map. I just spend ages sort of moodily poring over it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sariel has to sneak back in, look at him, and then carry on.
Shut the door.
Shut the door and carry on.
Sign on the door, don't come in.
We're decorating.
I'll say that I'll tack up the horse, but then just go back out and look for couriers and kind of hope.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm doing.
You go to couriers, you're able to find the closest thing to like a central hub where they would meet and deliver things. Nothing is currently found for you, but you'd know that you probably sent your courier off in the other direction. Tell her like the closer point, so maybe they'd have to like catch you up by a day or so.
Do we make our way back then?
Yeah, I guess I do really want to go to that shop, but also I'm aware other people might want to go to it, so if we head back first, I guess. So we could, What time of day is it now?
By this point, like mid-afternoon,
So the shop would still be open?
presumably. Which shop?
The shiny coin, the
Shiny coin.
arcane artifact shop.
Keen one.
Yeah, it seems open. From the outside, it looks a little bit like dirty, especially for like the tier that you're on, and like not very well kept up. The shop just has a sign with a single shiny coin on.
Elyse is staring at it in absolute wonder
Mm-hmm.
and just turns to Boblem and says, I think we should go back and tell you what we found, but I need to come back here.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure somebody else might want to come.
Yeah.
You can make a perception check, both of you.
13.
5.
Okay, you can faintly hear music coming from inside.
I hear Astra quiver in the distance. Yeah, she'll just like take a little quick peek inside as she walks past,
Okay.
just see if she can see the source of the music.
You crack the door and you can't see the source of the music, but it's a lot louder
Yeah.
once you open, and you see shelves stacked with all manner of weird looking things.
Okay, let's go back.
We'll come back.
So yeah, we'll head back to the house.
Okay. You get back to the barracks and you find Sariel and Astra.
There's a camera crew outside.
The bus.
You find the rest of your party there. You see both horses are tied up, the cart sort of in the middle of the courtyard.
Oh, they got back quickly.
Yeah? head on in, just see who's around and what they're doing.
Yeah, so it's easy enough to find everyone.
Have they like put out furniture and stuff by the time we've come back, or?
Yeah, but like you didn't really need to get large furniture so much because like shelves and chests and beds and stuff like that.
Like bedding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Soft
Hungry
furnishings.
touches.
exactly. I'd say you're like most of the way through getting all your stuff done. Yeah.
But there's like an immediate. We can see there's a difference. between-
Yes, definitely.
Well, this is looking a lot nicer.
Oh,
We're not done yet. Don't worry.
you guys made it look really nice.
Drew cross flowers
Thank you.
everywhere.
It's very pretty.
I think if we're going to be staying here for a while, I want to make it our own. Exactly, there's a bedroom for each of us.
I've never lived anywhere like this. This is amazing.
I've lived with so many people before.
I've lived with more people than this, but
Me too. Are you two back?
Yeah, I'd say everyone's back.
they got back first.
So how did everybody do?
We did pretty well, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the 5th tier's locked up tight even for a fucking lord.
You can get in then.
Not without papers.
So we might need to
We need a forger.
forge some.
Might be easy to find here. You know what that kind of thing's meant to look like, or? Okay. Well, I'm sure we can snoop around and find something. Yeah, we managed to scout out the streets down there a little bit. I think I've got a pretty good recollection of what they look like, and Boblem managed to get inside as a spider.
Yeah.
Check out the charnel house.
Well done.
Thank you. They're definitely there. The company that attacked your family.
Good.
They were waiting for Cannon to come back. And I relayed the information that I previously relayed to Elyse, like how many there were,
And
and
sort of draw out maps and
draw out
Yeah.
the map of
Yeah.
what the layout looked like. And saying they said as soon as he comes back, they'll leave. Just waiting for him to come
But
back.
unfortunately, we didn't hear how long that's going to be, so we don't really know what the time limit is on that.
And you don't know who's leaving. Whether those guards are just switching up their patrol or...
Yeah. But I'm sure if we scout out for a bit longer, we might be able to find out more. Maybe if they all leave, we can just...
I don't think it would be quite that simple. That would be
No.
very hopeful thing.
I know, but obviously all these mercenary companies are leaving the city for some reason. Maybe they're planning to go with them too, we don't know.
Just as a point of note, if you draw out a sketch and say it looks slightly like that,
Okay.
we can put it up on screen.
The interior of the walls.
Cool.
Yeah, so you've got walls, gatehouse with like a building coming off it, hyena pens, and I forgot to slightly mention a couple of like sentry posts, like basically like upturned boxes and crates just behind the walls, so people could like step up onto them and look out over the walls.
Yeah.
Cool.
Didn't you also hear the guards say something along the lines of, yeah, it's a really good job, referring to something else?
Yeah, but they didn't specify beyond that.
They could have been talking about whatever it is all these other mercenaries are going after, and maybe that's what they're going after too. Well, we obviously can't
Or what
confirm that. but-
Cannon is doing.
Yeah.
The Fang at the Abbey said something about Cannon was working underneath.
Mm.
If
I don't know whether that means in the Underdog.
Oh.
If all these mercenaries are going towards the same job, would it be worth to pretend to be mercenaries? Maybe not all of us, but one or two of us.
In what context, sorry?
Just to go investigate, see if we're offered the same job.
Oh. I mean,
Possibly.
We'd have to know sort of which company we belong to and stuff, I guess. Is it all quite well established within the city? Like, would people know the names of all the mercenary companies and things like that are operating here?
And wasn't it full companies of mercenaries that
Yeah.
were leaving rather than just individuals?
Yeah.
Also, if we do go back to that place, I would not advise climbing the walls. There was glass and bone shards and all kind of sharp things on
Immediately
top.
put my plans to quash, but there's other things I can do.
Also, I was going to make mention that we need to be careful on this level of who we talk to and who we talk about, because a couple of miles down is the Indigni barracks.
Oh no.
Oh, interesting.
People who work for the Lady of Turquoise, right?
Yes, but they're just mercenaries.
I
mean,
thought
they're
she
just
was
taking...
wanted in Shadebourne.
So she has a bunch of the Indigni working for her. Yeah, she's wanted here from what you know. But the Indigni, they also have like people based elsewhere. So this is just like their headquarters, and some of them are like on permanent detachment with her, you understand? Some in Fang, you understand?
They are just a mercenary company. I don't imagine they would see us and attack us based on the fact that we spoke to Turquoise.
We just need to be careful about what we talk about, I guess.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
And we never know, some of them could come back from Sanskrit recently, or
I've
had
only,
word from, I don't know.
I've only seen them at one other place, so I don't know where else they've been.
Speaking of danger and being careful, there was a murder.
Yeah,
Down in the
we saw a
first-
body being dragged out of an alleyway.
That's what
That's what the guards were
told.
talking about.
Spoke to a man, he said there's been about 50 killings or something happening.
They told us that the gates are permanently locked, keeping people out without being forced to go up there because of this.
That makes sense. Yeah, he said
We're just letting them die.
they live on the first tier, they don't give a shit, Boblem. Did he tell us how long it's been going on for? Yeah, he said it's been going on for about 2 months. People just being killed in the streets.
50 people in 2 months.
And the mercenary companies have been leaving for about...
Did they say?
Timescales don't really add up. Like the most recent one was like maybe 5-6 weeks ago, but until fairly recently as well.
So, not necessarily associated.
But still, a lot of incredibly...
Something is on a spree.
Well, this city is a mess.
Yeah! So yeah, we just need to watch our backs.
I don't know if there's any sort of pattern to those murders, but it would be worth seeing.
Good
if
to
there
go back
is.
and ask. We're going to be around that area anyway. I just didn't want to
Yeah.
pry too much.
Well, if anybody needs to stock up on anything, we found an armour shop and an enchanted armour shop where they were a bit...
Give Sariel a look.
Same.
I see you both! What?
Nothing. I give Randall a look.
I turned to Randon. I was hoping you would come with me because I don't know what I'm looking for and whether I'm
course.
getting a good price. It was all so expensive. Why is it so expensive?
It's a fine craft to make it.
So? That expensive?
They're charging people for the labour, the time they put into it, as well as the materials and...
400 gold?
Yes.
She wouldn't let me pay for her.
I can help you.
Maybe you could trade in some items as well. Lower the price.
I don't really have anything.
I mean, we have a whole cupboard full of armour.
Yeah, we could sell some of that to make some money for it.
That's true.
There's also a shop I want to check out. I don't know if anyone else wants to, but there's a shop that looks like it sells some interesting arcane artifacts. Had some cool music coming out of it.
Oh, really?
Did it sound anything like similar to what Astra plays, or anything that might relate to that? Or
Similar enough, yeah. You wouldn't be able to like pick out like exact instruments, but yeah, just sort of the general like sort of like gaudy like tavern music.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if it was like someone in the shop playing it or whatever, but yeah, I'm definitely going there. So if anyone else wants to go, sure.
Oh, we're going to be here for a while, I gather, so it's worth a look.
Assuming we don't get kicked out.
I don't
We're
think
not
we're
going
gonna
to get kicked out.
We decorated, we're not getting kicked out.
Thank you for decorating.
Yeah, thank you.
Almost feels hungry.
Looks very pretty.
It is, it's our home now.
It is.
You wind up for the day and you make your preparations and your plans in the barracks that you have taken over in the city of Shadebourne, this grim and desolate and often beautiful but very scary, dark and gloomy city. Surrounded by strange faces, we pack in for the evening and we'll continue our adventure next week.
Oh boy, this place is a nightmare.
Everything is wrong.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you!
You've been wonderful. It's my pleasure. Thank you all for joining us, being part of our story. We love you so much.
We love you.
Thank you. We'll see you next
See you
week.
next week. Bye.
Hello saplings, it's Astra. Thank you for joining us once more in our adventures. The party have settled into Shadebourne and at last have a home to call their own. Our giveaway competition on Twitter and Instagram to win a couple of WYRMWOOD gaming dice vaults is still running, so be sure to check it out via the link in the description to get your entry in. You can also grab yourself a discount at Found Familiar Coffee over at foundfamiliar.com/LOTP. Take a short rest and revitalise yourself with 10% off anything in their store with the code LOTPDND. Special thank you, as always, to our executive producers Alexandra Johnson, Liam Moran, Emily Hogarth and Katelyn Ferguson. Until next time, keep your head up and your heart strong, and we'll see you on Wednesday.